Thousands more taxpayers were mailed past due income tax refund checks today, Monday, closing the gap that contributed to the government's hundreds of millions of dollars in debt. U.S.V.I. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. said the disbursement brings the government up to date on tax reimbursement filed up until February 2022, and for the first time, taxes can now be refunded in the same year.
But between September 1st and today, the Bureau of Internal Revenue and the Department of Finance released some 14,269 income tax checks totaling $31,444,284. More importantly, included in this latest batch of refunds are 2,941 refunds from the 2021 tax year, which were filed by taxpayers earlier this year. This takes care of everyone that has filed up until February of 2022. It also means that we are now paying refunds in the same year that they were filed. We are on track to issue refunds to everyone that filed by the April 15th filing deadline this year. And when I say this year, before the end of this year on December 15th. This means also that we have officially caught up on the payment of tax refunds, a goal that once seemed insurmountable.
The governor says payments for April of this year are expected to be filed on December 15th or before the year ends. Since Bryan assumed office in 2019, he says almost $289 million in refund checks have gone out, over 110,000 checks altogether.
This wasn't a process that we started yesterday, the year before, or the year before that. This is a mission that was important to us because of some remarks that I read by the great President Obama, where he stressed the importance of making sure that people get tax returns and the importance of giving the earned income tax credit, because families depend on these dollars to do simple things like pay their rent or pay their light bill, or more complex things like send their children to school or buy a new car, or even desperate things like making sure that their loved ones get the health care that they need. But whatever it is, this has been a passion of the entire administration to catch up, because we know that so many in our territory are plagued by poverty and hard times that we have seen over the last 5 years.
There has been an allocation of $25 million set aside every year since 2020 to pay down past due income tax refunds. However, the $1.3 million in refunds paid out over the last 2 weeks was facilitated by the federal government's Earned Income Tax Credit Program, which makes money available to low and middle income households. Bryan explained that the government had been permanently reimbursed millions of dollars of earned income tax revenue from the federal government.
Thanks to the efforts of the team in Washington, and most especially to our beloved Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, who has championed this cause from the very beginning, we have finally, under a united Democratic front and the Biden administration, achieved a permanent reimbursement of the tax credit to the territory. So before now, we would pay up to $26 million of the earned income tax refund, tax credit, that we never got reimbursed from the federal government, which is part of the reason why we fell so far behind. Now, we will get that money reimbursed every year. I myself was shocked when I looked through this, because we have paid, believe it or not, tax refunds as far back as 2001. That's 22 years ago. And we continue to pay tax returns from before, as they may have been in audit or they may have been filed late. But regardless, we have been paying them out as quickly as they have been filed. We have put this government in a position to be able to make this announcement today. And while some may seek to downplay the significance of this milestone, we know that the employees of BIR, OMB, and the Department of Finance and the Lieutenant Governors tax division know how difficult it was to get here. And therefore, we offer again our sincere congratulations to those employees that made it possible. And I hear people say the taxes belong to the people. What's a big deal in paying them? Because they were never paid before. And today, this government is not only fiscally solvent in a way that brings in a budget surplus every single year we've been in office, but it's fiscally solvent in a way that it has paid its bills.